Alright, and we're back. So, it would appear that well, let's get started. I mean, I remember most of it. I'll go through my notes in a little bit. Um, James was asked by a unusually friendly Glinda, if he had trouble sleeping, and he said, "My arm was acting up, so it's possible he has some sort of war injury." And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but for some reason I'm remembering that scene where um, Ozpin is handing him a cup of tea, and it seemed very awkward, the transition of him grabbing the cup of tea, and then, you know, and the metal plate that I said is a metal plate and not a bandage, because it has a little protrusion, because it pops out of his forehead. And considering the fact that Penny is a real girl without squishy guts, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that either James is very similar to Penny, as in the fact that he's a robot as well, or that he has robot parts. But considering that he has a plate popping out up here, I don't know. But that one line, the line of arm was acting up. He says it so casual, like everybody knows this, everybody but us. And then Glenda responds by saying, "Oh, so you found it prudent to dress yourself up to a T and then come out here in the middle of nowhere, you know?" Everything happens for a reason in this show, and I think this is the key factor of Ironwood. Or maybe he no, because if he suffered a massive injury and then he has his hands operating, and I just remember that scene with the tea. Ozpin gives him the cup, and he's like, it's so awkward, but it's there for a reason. So I'm putting a pencil there, and I'm gonna say that he's either a robot, just like Penny, or no, he can't be because Penny is the first of her kind. Well, it's the first one to have a soul. I'm trying to remember. I am the first girl, first robot that has a soul that can produce an aura. Now, at this point, I'm not sure if I don't know if James can produce an aura yet. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him fighting, so I'm uncertain about that. But my arm was acting up. Who says that? My arm is acting up. Like it's been having problems before. It's doing it again. It's acting up. Oh, well, you found it prudent to dress yourself up and come out here, you know? So he's either had an operation, he has a major scar in there somewhere, or he's had his arm replaced of some sort, or it's been fixed, or it's been upgraded, or maybe he's a robot. He's a robot entirely, and he's like the prototype version for Penny. Because in the opening, he is standing next to Penny when they show them right before or after Ublik's glinting glasses. So I'm telling you something. He's in the robot family. He's either a robot or um he's a cyborg robot parts or something's going on. The conversation with Glenda continues on, and then Glenda says that you are the one that always did what was right, what you believe was right, despite of everybody having their strong protests, their strong objections. So apparently, Ironwood's moral compass is aligned properly. It's there. It's good to go. But I just can't shake it. It's just the signs are there, and I'm noticing them, and they're coming back to my mind, and it's crazy. He's either a robot, a cyborg, or the predecessor or the precursor for Penny. It's there. It's there. I don't know the exact details, but it's there. Um, so that let me get that out of the way. All because you said my arm is acting up, like if it's a common thing. Um, so Mountain Glen then, huh? So the girls do have objections, and they feel a sense of not regret, but they felt that the answers that they gave to Professor Ublik as to why they wanted to become huntresses, I'm guessing it made them feel some sort of emptiness inside. Like that answer didn't really fulfill the reason behind their actions. And it made them feel incomplete. It made them feel like it's not what they meant to say. They were caught in the moment and they didn't really have the answer they were looking for at the time. So so they have the little conversation, and that's when they manage to express their true reasons. Weiss wants to give her family company, her family name, a good name. Um, One that doesn't operate in the morally gray area, as she says, and that she doesn't want to let her father be the downfall of her family, of her company. Um, Blake wants to be noble, wants to be just and have a proper cause to fight for because all her life, according to her, she's, excuse me, she's just been running away. She hasn't stood up for what really mattered to her, things that scare her, things that concern or involve her directly, things that she doesn't know the answer to, she ends up running away. And it's interesting that she pulls out the her semblance about leaving a shadow behind and then running away while the shadow takes the hit. Um, Quite interesting. But then again, it kind of like I hate to go here, but I'm gonna go there. It kind of like matches with her nature in a way of being a cat girl, a neko, because by nature, right, cats, and I'm not referring to like feral cats like lions or hunting animals, but by nature, the household feline species is usually skittish and to the point where it's not aggressively seeking out confrontation. Any cat in the street, whenever you walk by it or when you approach it, it usually tends to flee. It runs away from you. Unless it's a really friendly cat in which it'll stay there and look at you, maybe meow at you, or maybe go up to you and cuddle with your legs and do the little slimy thing they do in between your legs. Um, so by nature, usually cats are skittish, and I think she might be being a little bit too hard on herself because her body screams, run, flee, because it's within her nature. But at the same time, she has her human aspect of not being a coward, not running away, facing your problems. And it it would appear that these two personalities are in turmoil with her, and they're constantly struggling to see who takes control. Now, the rationality aspect of her human mind is probably calling her out on the fact that she's doing things like her animal instinct side. And so it appears that Blake has a lot of internal struggle going on. And it's interesting. It's interesting and concerning at the same time. I kind of feel bad for her because it's in her nature to be that way. That's why her semblance is fleeing. I'll fight just like a cat will fight whenever it's threatened or cornered, or it will stand its ground. But when it faces an adversary that's stronger caliber or more overpowering than her initial reaction, if she doesn't have support with her friends, is to flee. So whenever she's on her own, she seems to flee. Her friends are concerned about her finding out that she's a faunus. She flees. Um, Apparently, her mentor, Adam, once she realizes that he's doing a lot of bad things and she's on her own, she flees. Um, Pretty much that. That's Blake apparently, from what we're learning from her. Um, what else? Let's go through my notes then. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Glenda's attitude change towards Claim. I know I mentioned James. I know I mentioned this a little bit, but it's very interesting that whenever they're in public, I guess you can call it, Glenda seems very hostile and hard with James. But when they're alone, she has a softer side. And I can't help but think it as as a tsundere character. It's not like Wise, because Wise is more of the baka personality, but Glenda is it's kind of like on the tsundere aspect whenever they're in public, but when they're alone, it's like, senpai, what's wrong? Talk to me. Oh, this and this. Oh, but you should hang in there, senpai. It'll be okay. Thanks. And then, oh, I hate your tactics. You're so muscle-minded and bringing in all your bravado machismo warships in here and blah blah blah. So it's that duality is interesting. Um, Glenda seems to be hard whenever she feels that she's in the eyes of others. But if you were to grab her alone, she's probably really friendly and really nice and down to earth. But she has to put on that mask of hard butt because it's her job. I'm guessing she's the what do you call it? The disciplinary committee of sorts. It's interesting, but I got nothing else to develop on that for now, unless I remember of something else. But I'll leave that there for now. Next up, we have okay. Apparently, James was concerned with Ozpin that he felt that he was being kept in the dark because it would appear that in the past they were all very proactive in handling threats and attacking and taking care of the situation. I'm remembering the conversation that they had in the office when James wanted to charge all he had to just in there and done, level the ground. But then Ozpin is like, hold on, would you in a game of chess send your king, or would you first send your pawns to check everything out and your other pieces to ensure that the area is good, and then you move in your army? And that made James think, and he doesn't feel satisfied. He feels like he's being held back because he has all this power, all these resources, and he just can't push the go button and just and be done with things. So he feels held up. He feels binded, and it's concerning for him because when they're discovering all these things and the breach and the the incident and the rumors and the attacks and the stealing and all these things that have been happening, James is ready to go, ready to just poof, let's get in there. But then Ozpin is like, no, wait, let's see what they do. Let's keep looking at their things. Let's analyze the situation. Let's take a moment to think about how everything plays out, and we'll take it from there. We can't act too hasty because of whatever reason he might have. Maybe if we tip our hand now, we might be at a disadvantage that they know what our potential is, but we don't know theirs. Or maybe we might be successful, but there might be a lot of people involved in the way that might get hurt, and it's something I want to avoid. Whatever the reason is, there's something going on that's making Ozpin wait. And that passive approach doesn't sit well with James. Now, Ozpin apparently can't offer some sort of indication or idea to James to help calm his concerns, and this makes him feel that Ozpin might be hiding something from him, that he's being kept in the dark because he's so cool, calm, and collected. I'm very concerned about what's going on. What does he know that I don't know? And that makes me very uneasy. So there's this development, this internal development going on with James, and Glenda is trying to the she's trying to mitigate the the bubbling sensation that's going on in James right now. So maybe perhaps that's why she's so friendly. But it's such a a uncommon character trait for her because from day one, you shouldn't be here. You did all these things. You should be, you know, disciplined, but you're gonna get a cookie and a slap on the wrist. Yeah. And children don't play with your food. It clashes with the personality that we've been seeing with Glenda so far. So it's a different thing to keep a lookout for. Or maybe there's some sort of romantic interest in there, but I don't know. Speculations. I don't have any evidence for that yet. Okay, during the answers that Yang was giving, to everybody regarding the questions that Ublik was asking. Yang said that she goes with the flow and that she always wants an adventure, that she always wants something to do, something to keep her busy, because she won't know what tomorrow brings, and that for her is great. Now, the only thing I can come up with regarding this is that revisiting back the conversation that Yang had with Blake, she hasn't stopped searching for her mom. Yang hasn't given up the search for her mother, and because of that, maybe it's wearing her down. Maybe it's taking a toll on her. I'm gonna fix my camera really quick. 2 shifts this way. Pop, pop. Maybe one more. Pop. There we go. Maybe it's wearing her down. Maybe it's becoming a burden for her as she keeps on searching and she's not finding the answers that she's looking for. It's taking a toll on her heart, on her soul, that no matter how hard she tries and how interested she is in finding her mom, she's not making any progress. Because of this, she is starting to maybe lose hope. She's starting to maybe lose the drive, the motivation, or maybe she's just seeking some sort of distraction in which she doesn't have to constantly be thinking about that. And I believe that's the reason why she is always seeking an adventure. She's always seeking for something different every day. That's not the same, that doesn't fall in routine, because it always keeps her going. It always keeps her busy, engaged, doing something. And it doesn't give her time to dwell in the past. And maybe by flooding her mind and her herself with things to do and information on things that she's responsible for, things that she has to do, it'll help her separate herself from this ongoing search so that maybe she can take a break, or maybe it doesn't tax on her so much. And this actually seems to me what the real reason of why she decided to become a huntress, so that she could meet up with her mom in some sort of scale, because I believe her mother was a huntress as well, just like Ruby's mom. So meet up with her at some point, follow in her mother's footsteps, and at the same time not follow in her mother's footsteps, because she'll be busy with adventures, with helping people, with doing things, with following responsibilities, with engaging, with always doing something that helps stretch out that searching, connection, binding that she has currently going on in her life. Because she hasn't stopped searching and she doesn't plan on stopping. But it would appear that her fruits and her results are not productive, are not yielding the results that she would like. And maybe maybe another reason could be that she wants to become a huntress to go out there in the adventure world in hopes of getting closer to her mom, in hopes of finding her eventually somewhere out there during one of her missions. It's a possibility, actually. It could be a number of things, but based on what she said, it's more indicating to the I gotta keep myself busy, I gotta keep myself occupied, I gotta keep doing something different every day. I don't want any day to be the exact same day that the other day was, because it feels like it's stealing away from my life. It feels like it's taking away from myself. So I want to experience as much as I can for as long as I can, and that seems to me along the lines of stepping outside of herself and not being in a routine so that she doesn't do the same thing her mom did. So maybe Yang doesn't want to fall in love. Maybe she doesn't want to become rudimentary in something, and she doesn't want to develop something repetitive, or in other words, she doesn't want to lay roots because she doesn't want to do the same thing her mom did. Lay roots and then just go and leave Yang behind. Interesting. I'm not sure. Moving on. That's all I'm saying for that. Ooblik. Listening to their conversation, he got the answers he was looking for, and it made him happy. He now fully understands the real reason, the real intentions of the girls becoming huntresses. And it wasn't until Weiss said, or Yang said, it was Weiss, that no matter what it is that we do, from now on, everybody else and the interests of everybody else come before our own. In other words, the true definition of a hero, the selfless sacrifice. And Ublik is happy that they are aware of this. And he smiled. He's like, that's right, good girls. So I think that's that. I have one more voice here and see what it says. Underground caves became underground city. Okay, and that's the last one, yes. The underground cave network, the natural occurring underground cave network, apparently got developed into an underground freaking city. We're talking Evangelion here, holy crap. But a natural geofront of some sort, and everything was good until there was an explosion that allowed a lot of Grimm to come in and game over. Thousands and thousands of people perished overnight. That's sad. Um, and they also have a subway system, as you saw with Roman. Roman? Yeah, Roman. Um, Torchwick? Torchwick, yeah. He stepped out of a cart. Although it didn't look like a subway cart, it looked more like a train. So, that's that. It's crazy that an entire city fell, being so close to a major city that has a hunter's academy, and nobody could be saved. I'm guessing it was all so sudden. There was just no time to react, and by the time everybody got there, it was already too late. Thousands of people perished overnight. That's sad. But, regardless, that's it for now. Um, I don't think I have anything else at the moment. But thank you for watching and for enjoying another one of these videos. My name is Charfox, and I'm going to see if I can record a couple of other. We're almost done with Volume 2, so I'll see if I can finish it today. Alright? Stay tuned. More videos to come. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.